Imagine a 70-ton aircraft traveling at 250 kilometers per hour, preparing to descend from an altitude of 3 kilometers, when it encounters a malfunction. In less than 10 minutes, everything shatters and 179 lives are lost. This is not the first time a Boeing aircraft has been involved in such a catastrophic accident. In 2018 to 2019, 2 consecutive aviation disasters occurred. Lion Air 610 and Ethiopian Airlines lost control and crashed just minutes after takeoff, resulting in the deaths of all passengers and crew. What's striking is that both accidents involved the 737 MAX, an upgraded version of the Boeing 737, the best-selling commercial aircraft in history, with over 10,000 units produced over the past 50 years. This is also the same aircraft involved in the recent Jeju Air incident. So what exactly happened to Boeing's aircraft, and are they still safe? To understand this story, we need to revisit the intense competition between Boeing and Airbus, the two giants that dominate the global commercial aircraft market. While Airbus focused on developing new technologies, Boeing prioritized performance to maximize benefits for airlines. However, the game began to change in 2010 when Airbus decided to launch the A320neo, an upgraded version with larger but more fuel-efficient engines, saving up to 15% on fuel. Airlines loved this as it could save them millions of dollars annually. Facing the risk of losing market share to its rival, Boeing had to join the race. But they were faced with 2 choices: either design an entirely new aircraft to accommodate the improved engines, which would be costly, or upgrade the existing 737. They chose the latter, primarily due to economic motivations and pressure from partners. After the 2008 financial crisis and the costly development of the Boeing 787, they opted to maximize existing resources rather than innovate. Additionally, their customers would save on pilot retraining costs. However, this decision led to unintended consequences. The Boeing 737, originally designed in the 1960s, had a lower ground clearance compared to the A320. To fit the larger engines, Boeing had to reposition the engines higher and forward on the wings, rather than beneath them as before. Unbeknownst to Boeing, this created a new aerodynamic characteristic that caused the aircraft's nose to pitch up more during high-angle flight phases like takeoff and landing. So how did they address this major flaw? Instead of redesigning the entire aircraft, Boeing chose to patch the issue with a software system called MCOS, which automatically lowers the nose when it detects a high angle of attack. The problem was that this system relied on a single sensor, and if it malfunctioned, it would send incorrect signals, repeatedly pushing the nose down uncontrollably. Worse, Boeing did not even disclose the existence of MCOS in the flight manuals. Pilots were only given a brief iPad course. The tragic consequence was the Lion Air crash. Shortly after, airlines contacted Boeing to inquire about the technical issue, including Ethiopian Airlines, but all they received were vague email responses. Then, as we know, the next accident occurred with Ethiopian Airlines just 5 months later. Today, the older Boeing 737 MAX models have been grounded, with production set to resume in 2024. Meanwhile, Airbus's order volume has significantly increased, giving them a dominant market share. This is a painful lesson for Boeing about prioritizing economic efficiency and competition, ultimately leaving innocent passengers to bear the consequences.